Welcome back to the Go Deeper podcast. Today, you are in for a treat because we are talking about the power of proximity. And me and Amber, I've been like this for a long time. We live in a little bubble that's a few mile radius from our house, our businesses, and pretty much everywhere we go. And I love that. And so, Amber, explain what I mean.
You can't buy time back.
Right.
And more so than anything, proximity to the things that you go to, use, where you work, where you eat, where you live is everything. You can waste so much of your life commuting. Not that commuting is a bad thing, but if you are wasting so much of your life away by driving to your kid's school, by driving an hour to work, by honestly even getting up, taking your kids to school, going back home, and then coming back to work. Doesn't make sense. And the older you get, the more valuable time is. I mean, let's be real here.
Time is everything.
You don't think about time when you're 20, but when you start to be late 30s, 40s, when you have kids, when you're still trying to live a big life, but still be a present
Or, Amber,
parent,
when you see someone pass away
Yeah.
young,
makes you value time a lot
makes
more.
you value time.
So you have to start thinking, if I'm wasting so much of my life away, driving, running, not living on purpose for my purpose, what am I doing?
Agreed.
And we've put ourselves in rooms with bigger people. And the one thing they always talk about is using your time wisely, being impactful, but also just being smart with your time. Because it's the one thing, I don't care how successful you are or how much money you have, you can't buy time.
Agreed.
We were doing a gym 6 months ago for Patrick Bet David, and he said something so powerful.
Well, we were in the moment. We didn't even know we were going to have this conversation, and we're kind of in deep conversation. And he says to us, he was talking about how he does business within his network of people. And I remember him saying that he had 3 people cut his hair in the past 20 years. One of his main guys has been with him since before Patrick ever had any money. But what really got us, because I think maybe I asked him like, hey, Patrick, why are you building this gym / basketball / MMA mat at the airplane hangar? And he said, oh, go ahead.
Well, he had just bought that airplane hangar. His main headquarters was in a hangar across the little way.
A football field.
A football field away.
I mean, look right at it.
And you asked him why, why are you doing this gym?
And it was the power of proximity.
It's the power of proximity. And he said, my life lives within a 5-mile radius. And the bigger the city, the more impactful this is, right? You live in a big city, it can take you an hour and a half to go 5 miles.
Correct.
Now, grateful where we live, little Burlington, North Carolina, we're not there yet, but the traffic is becoming a thing.
It is becoming a thing.
But he said, I want my church, my kids' school, my work, my gym to all be within a 5-mile radius.
He said if he needs to go out of town, he said Miami, no problem. It's 40 minutes. 40.
I forgot the private jet airplane hangar and within that 5-mile radius too.
But he said, my jet's right here. I need to go to New York Yankees game. That was his exact words. He said, I hop on the jet. He literally built his whole complex on the airport, which is really genius if you got a private jet.
It's inspirational.
It is. And I look up to him because I'm like, wow. And so I didn't even realize till several people had told me that like we kind of live that way in our own. I go from my house to the warehouse, to my gym, back to my house. I wake up every day. What's the first thing I do? I go to my home gym. And it is so important. But then how much time does that buy me back by having these things? And Amber, let's talk about that.
It buys you a lot of time back.
But let's talk about what we're building, why we're building it. We might as well put it out there because everybody, I know 100 people's asked us locally, what the hell are y'all building at your house?
Yeah, so currently right now, I think we've known for a while that we wanted to do something like this. We are aspiring for more. We have it in us. It's been laid on our heart. But we also don't want it to take away from life. And I think so often people get held back because they don't have the time or they don't want it to distract.
Sure.
or you're fearful of losing what you already have because you don't have the faith to do more. So we said, well, we want to do this podcast. Right now we're doing it in my office, which can be disturbing sometimes to people who are working here. It can be a little bit disturbing to me because we're setting up, we're taking down. And there's some other things that we want to do too, not just the podcast.
Right.
But you've envisioned me. I'm like, we don't need that. But you think bigger, dream bigger, live a little bit more bolder. You said, we're going to build a structure that gives us room for the podcast studio. That's not the only thing living in this structure, but it's one of the main business reasons why we're building the structure. So we can just go out there and do the podcast and maybe even push a button and not even have somebody here moderating it half the time. Like if we're in the moment and if we're talking about something, we can just run out there, film a podcast real quick. Or let's say somebody comes and visits and we want to go do one real fast. We can. We're right now in this capacity. We have no clue how to set this up. We're setting it up. We're taking it down.
Takes time.
That's an hour. We're not doing it, but somebody else is doing it, but that's time. It's also going to be a little bit more convenient when maybe we can say to our kids, hey, stay inside. Let's do this in the evening sometimes, or let's do it on a weekend versus coming to our office.
Sure.
So accessibility to a home gym, to a podcast, to a place that you can just walk in and work and grind hard is powerful.
Absolutely.
Proximity is everything.
And then we plan on having some guests in the future. And if they fly into us or whatever's happened, I think it just says something about you having them over at your house and inviting them into your home. This will be a completely separate structure, but
it's going to be more intimate for people and hopefully makes them more vulnerable and open up more.
And I just come from the Greek world where you know how my family is. Like, if I would have took you to my grandparents, they're going to make you eat. They're going to roll out the red carpet for you, even though they didn't have a lot of money and stuff like that. That's the world I love to entertain. I've thrown hellacious parties before. And honestly, it's never for me. People don't realize, like, I get the joy out of seeing everybody else have the fun. And that's where this structure, but the structure is also going to be, you know, we're doing this for everyone else, really, not for us. We are doing it for us in a sense of like, it's been laid on our hearts to do it. But
it's going to be fulfilling for us.
Right.
And I think the more that you can systemize your life, because proximity, all that proximity is doing is systemizing and streamlining your life so you get more out of life, whether it's more time back with your family, whether it's more fulfillment, whether it's time back that you can pour into your career, whether it's just the simplicity of life. I think the more hurdles you have in going to work, making it to the gym, the amount of time it takes, the traffic that you may face, the less likely you are to do it. So having a world of close proximity to things actually makes you so much more successful, more impactful, more fulfilled, less stress, all the things.
Well, let's talk about home gyms.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to talk about that is the power of proximity is how that has changed our life. So me and Amber built our home gym in 2017.
Before kids.
Before children, and then the children came right after. And I'm not kidding because my warehouse is huge. I own an 18,000 square foot commercial gym in Burlington. I build gyms around the world. I think people thought we were crazy for build. Why do you need a home gym? I've had an elliptical in my home since 2005, I believe is when I bought my first elliptical. I've always had home gym equipment. Amber will tell you that.
And I think that was the trend for a long time. People just had cardio.
Cardio, yeah. And maybe a set of dumbbells.
And then COVID came.
But even way before COVID, I told Amber, I said, we're going to build a home gym. Maybe even at first you were like, what? But it was something I always wanted, and it was the time. My gym had started getting so busy that sometimes I could not train the way I wanted to, or I would be working 16 hours a day, moving gym equipment, selling gym equipment, that maybe I didn't want to drive all the way back over to the gym, and I just needed a 30-minute workout. And I knew if I went to the gym, somebody's going to tell me the trash can's full.
Well, you're going to be, as the gym owner, you're going to be there 2 to 3 hours versus like somebody, a patron just coming. They're going to be there 30 minutes, 45 minutes because they're not bombarded like you are.
Correct.
There's also something beautiful about the power of proximity, but the structure it gives you and the ability to stay more time blocked because you know you're not going to be deterred by people at the gym. You know, and sometimes a home gym, you don't want to be around people.
So that's what I was going to say. So we shortly had the kids. or right when the home gym was going on. It was there, but we got pregnant. And as a man, that completely switched my mindset. I'm like, okay, I need to be as healthy as possible. I need to provide. It was just, it lights a fire up a man or woman, I think.
Time got more serious.
Time got more serious. I'm like, how much am I going to have to help my wife? Like, I come from the world that the woman does a lot of the kid things. The man takes care of the outside of the house, all these things. But I didn't really know what it was going to entail. There's no handbook for children. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, I mean, our son's 7. For 7 years in a row, have I missed morning cardio?
No.
I don't miss. And it's,
You would miss it if it wasn't there, though. And that's the power of proximity.
right. So and what do we do every weekend pretty much with our children?
Workout.
Work
And
out.
there's something beautiful about working out around your children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our kids are going to grow up realizing it's just part of your life. It's not a burden.
Right.
And when things are not in close proximity to you, it can be a burden to go to the gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be a burden to go to work sometimes.
Right.
Or a
And-
burden to go to church. I mean, we've moved churches just to have a church in our closer proximity
Right.
to us, because the more of a burden and the more time it takes, the less likely you are going to be to do those things.
Yeah, I'll talk about home gyms just because I sell equipment, not because of anything other than that. But I want to tell everybody how impactful that's been for us. It has become, especially since COVID, everybody knew somebody passed away or got sick or whatever. Health has become something like you can't buy. They say the ultimate status now of a human is not the Ferrari, the Lamborghini you pull up in. It's not the Rolex watch you're wearing. It's not the Gucci shoes or heels that the woman has on. It is the body when they walk in. It sets a presence. And this does not mean hair color, race of skin. This means the appearance, because you cannot buy your body. And this is where I think home gyms have lit a fire, and it's the time, because you work and I work a ton of hours. Sometimes,
And if you have kids,
let me ask you this, before church on Sunday, would we have time to drive to my gym? I roll out of bed in a pair of shorts, no shirt. We drink coffee, maybe eat breakfast, and we go do 30, 40 minutes of cardio every single Sunday, then go to church.
proximity brings you back time,
Right.
but health is the true wealth.
Absolutely.
And if you're not pouring into yourself spiritually, health-wise, eating healthy, you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think oftentimes we don't realize it until it's an urgent matter and somebody's sick or somebody's spiritually sick and just living in the world. But if you can streamline your life where you are doing these things and there's not huge hurdles coming up along the way, and you're getting up and you're working out in your home gym, and you're getting up and you're going to church, and you're getting up and you're going to work, and you're getting up and taking your kids to school, life just flows easier.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower your stress levels can stay, the less susceptible you are to inflammation and disease. I mean, we put in a cold plunge. We put in a sauna.
And we put a cold plunge in when, I'll be very real with everybody, it was almost $12,000.
Yeah.
When they were newer.
They're more rare back then.
Yeah, they've come down tremendously in price, and I wanted the best one. And what did it mean you do this whole weekend?
A sauna and cold plunged and worked out and stayed home. I mean, we
and
really
it was my birthday, and
Yeah.
that's really what we did. Saturday and Sunday both. We kind of had like a staycation almost. We worked on the computer or whatever. And the power of having those in the bigger cities, I build gyms. A lot of these people, they're building these wellness studios, and they're $150 or more a month just to do sauna, cold plunge, recovery items, compression boots. Well, first of all, maybe you have the 150, but maybe to get across town, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe you're going to hit traffic. Who knows?
It's roughly an hour, even for us to come into Burlington.
Absolutely.
By the time we get in our cars, by the time we drive here, by the time we get out of our cars and get settled, it's 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
By the time we go back, it's another 30 minutes. So even like a 45-minute to hour workout is really 2 hours.
Yes.
And if you do that every single day, like right now after our podcast, we're going to drive by our gym, which is 2 minutes down the road.
2 minutes.
We're going to work out. I'm going to go another 5 minutes down the road, pick up my kids on my way home, and head home.
To go to football practice.
But if I had to go 30 minutes this way, 30 minutes this way, 30 minutes this way, I'm going to be like, I don't want my kids to do this, or I'm going to skip the gym. You can't live that way.
Well, even, something that we don't do, meaning like we don't own one of these companies, but like a meal prep service. People's like, oh, it's expensive.
We use it.
We buy back time My wife cooked me 6 meals a day
For
for
17 years of my life.
for for years. And people would always say, "Oh, Stephen, you're in great shape," or whatever. And I would say, "Listen, I'm thankful for my wife always." And the reason I would say that is because she did do the cooking. When we met, I told her, I was like, "I'll buy the groceries." And she was like, "And she'll do the cooking." I was like, "Deal."
Yeah, that was a win-win for us back
It
then.
was a win-win. But then I realized with 2 children, high-level businesses, I'm like, "Hey, babe, I took it upon myself to get some meals sometimes." And so I feel like, has that been a godsend for
Yeah.
you?
And I think you have to slow down sometimes and audit your life and saying what's draining me or what's taking so much of my time. For us, some things that we've leveraged is meal prep. It's given me back time really to spend with the family.
Mm-hmm.
We've leveraged like some of our organizational stuff in our house, some of the cleaning in our house.
Mm-hmm.
All that adds up.
Mm-hmm.
If you can create a life within a 5 mile radius and you can leverage certain things after you build up yourself, you can buy back like a whole day of your life every single week.
The problem is, Amber, everybody would listen to this and say, "Oh, that sounds all great, but I can't afford meal prep. I can't afford this." I want to talk about this a little bit. Yes, you can afford it if your priorities are different, and I'll explain why. I've met so many people that they literally DoorDash or Uber Eats every meal of the day, or DoorDash a coffee and spend $12. Hey guys, we've done it. I'm not knocking it. If you can afford to do it, do it. But let me tell you something. You're not eating as healthy as you could be. I worked in a restaurant since I was a kid. I promise you, you're not eating as healthy as you could. Secondly, one thing that me and Amber don't do, or our whole family, Monday through Friday, do we eat out?
No, we eat at home.
Every
We
meal.
prepare, and that's time. I mean, by the time you go to a restaurant, you're going to probably be there an hour, and then the commute time. We can drive home, and I can have dinner ready in 15 to 20 minutes, and we can
Absolutely.
eat and spend more quality, peaceful time together at home, and it gives me more time to do laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the gifts I have is I can sit down and look at my schedule or look at somebody else's and realize you're wasting so much time going and driving and running here and there and going into the grocery store versus Instacarting. It's what's the ROI? I think we look at the cost, but we don't look at like what are we saving by getting Instacart versus going in the store, and what is the time I'm getting back that I can invest in my family or invest in myself and going to the gym. What does going to the gym give you back in longevity of
Mm-hmm.
life? I mean, none of us can really that you going to the gym and working out, I promise you, is buying back years of your
I
life.
completely agree. Lately, Amber will tell you, I've had, I think now 3 or 4 people send me gift cards
Yeah.
for me just taking my time with them. And of course, they bought equipment from me, but they're like, "Hey, Stephen, every one of them, like, you gave me a master class. You saved me thousands of dollars with your knowledge today. If you could literally pay 10 grand for something that's going to save you 100,000, but buy back 2 years of your time." Or let's take my gym, for instance, 10 years of the struggle bus for me to figure out, no mentor, no one taught me the business, self-taught, no college education. Looking back, if I could have financed 100 grand to that person to fast track me to 3 years instead of 10,
You see the value.
it's
So
a
many people,
no-brainer,
there's cost and there's value.
right?
And so many people get hung up in the cost, but they're costing themselves 10 times the amount of time and money versus if they invested in themselves and created a world that's in close proximity and paid attention to what's buying their time back. And then once you have, and here's the kicker, you can buy your time back, but it's what you do with it that matters.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't buy your time back to sit at home and Netflix and chill. Like buy your time back to be purposeful.
That ain't us.
No.
Tell everybody what we did last night at dinner after we ate.
Watched our podcast.
Our
and
own
studied us.
podcast.
Like it's like we were watching game film. We studied us. What could we do better? What could we do more of?
Would we watch this if it wasn't us?
Yeah.
We're taking this.
We discerned it.
We're taking this seriously because if we do anything, like, our quality was amazing.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, is our quality picture good? Is our sound good? what does all this entail? Because we want to be the best. And there's so many good ones. I'm not saying we're going to be the best. We just want to be one of the best. There's always somebody that's a better speaker. We know I dropped the F-bomb. So it's like,
But
I'm
you're
not
passionate and you
yeah, I
have good
know.
energy.
Like, I'm not going to be
Don't apologize for
polished.
that.
But at the end of the day, it's like we want to be good at what we do. And that's why we take the time. And I think so many people, they're fixated on the cost, not the result of the fast tracking, of the time savings, there's so many things that we could talk about.
I was going to say, we can go down a rabbit hole with this. You can look at what does the time give you right now. But you also sometimes need to look up and say, what does me investing, even in doing this podcast is costing us time, amongst many other things. But what is it doing for us in the long run? And I think so often we look for that short-term fix. Like sometimes it feels good to skip the gym, but does it?
Mm-mm.
Does it feel good to walk in the gym? Like, has anybody ever regretted a workout?
Not after they've done it.
No. But it's like so often we have that quick fix. Like it's easier just to go home and skip the gym because I don't have the time. That is one of the, if you want to talk about a pet peeve, tell me I don't have the time, or tell me that you don't have the time. And I'm going to sit down with my calendar and show you everything I accomplished today because I was so intentional with my time, because I live in close proximity to everything, because I live in such close proximity to the life I want to live.
Well, you know as well as I do, me and you both hear that a lot. Like, I'm so sorry, Stephen. I didn't have the time. And then
That irks me quicker than anything.
If you want to hear me real raw Stephen on camera, there is very few people that is busier than me and Amber of what we got going on with multiple businesses, little children, very little leverage in the sense of like, we're very hands-on. And
with our kids
I'm
and our
like,
businesses. I know.
I got up extra early today and didn't get my normal stuff done because I had this podcast this afternoon. It's called Sacrifice. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do those things later tonight because of the fact that I didn't get to do them. But I promise you, she'll tell you it will get done.
You never delete stuff. You just replace it at another time.
Correct.
And I think that's what keeps you on track. You're going to have days where things are discombobulated. It doesn't mean you can't get it done.
Right.
It just means you maybe didn't get it done this morning. You maybe do it later today. And it's, you will always find the time for things that mean value to your soul. You're always going to be distracted if you're not aligned with who you are. And if you're trying to live a very purposeful life, time's everything, time's precious, and what you do every second of the day matters, because seconds add up to minutes, minutes add up to hours. And just like we were talking before we got on this podcast, the years go by quick. And you need to be so intentional with them, because the one thing you're always going to regret is how you spent your time.
Well, did you think years ago, we bought our house in 2015, and with we've now done a lot of the things that I had told you I wanted to do back then. But did you think I was crazy when I used to tell you, like, I'm going to do this? People call it like my dad will always say, the Harvey's estate. So did you think I was crazy by telling you, like, I'm going to do this, or we're going to build a gym, or we're going to build, a recovery room?
It's about once a day I get a phone call from my husband and he says, "You're not going to believe this." And I've just grown used to it.
Okay. So
And
you're
that's
dumb.
it. And that's why I just always support you, because I know, just knowing you, you live a very authentic, true to you life. And you just don't do stuff to do it. You do it to create a better life for all of us. And that's just the values you live by. And really that's, the meaning of this podcast, is Patrick Bet David conveyed to us, I want to be able to walk out, get on my plane, go speak in Denver, and be back home tonight and eat dinner with my family.
But do you remember when he met us? He had to leave to Kentucky Derby on his plane. So he was dressed in a suit.
Yep.
And
his wife too.
And his wife, and everything was cool. And he was like,
they were loading up with the whole family.
They were literally going to walk over to the hangar, get on the private jet with their pilots, and leave. Like, I can't even fathom that, but it's so cool and so convenient.
The beautiful thing is when we're putting ourselves in rooms with people like him, there is so much power in being in the proximity of him.
I agree.
Because you can learn so many lessons just like the power of time and how he utilizes his time and really just how he lives his life. Leo Pereira, the president of EXP, said just this week, I'm not like most CEOs because I want to be at home every night with my kids because I know that's what matters.
Absolutely.
And I think if you live life like that and you look at the genuineness of the value of time, of you got to make an impact while you're here. You got to be present. You got to give it 110%. You don't need to be distracted by going to Target in the afternoon. If you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Be with your kids, go to the gym, get your workout in, make your contacts, and then do the other stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you're driving around and just not living in close proximity to going from point A, I promise you, me and Steven, I can tell you, this is just how we live. We're so time blocked with our time. We get up, we do the same things every day, same routine every morning. We get up, I take the kids to work, I take the kids to school, I come to work. You get up, you do your morning cardio, you go to work, you go to the gym. Like we do the exact same thing every day because we have proximity, but because we also have mastered time blocking our life to get the most out of it.
My food's identical. Tell her.
Every single day.
She knows exactly when I need to eat. I don't have to look at a clock. My stomach will tell me.
Yeah.
Because I eat 6 to 7 times every single day because I'm so regimented now with my food. And it's so nice of a structure that we don't even have to ask what's for dinner.
It doesn't take so much energy out of your life worrying about where do you have to be when, what do I need to get done, what do I need to eat, how do I do this with my kids? We already know.
If any couples are listening, have you ever been at home and for an hour straight, you're asking the significant other, hey, what would you like to eat? Oh, whatever you want, honey. No, babe. What would you like to eat? Oh, well, one
we don't
wants
have
steak,
those conversations.
one wants Italian, one wants this. Amber knows, like, I eat pretty much the same shit every day. And so it's like, hey, what do you want on Saturday? Well, instead of filet or whatever's on my diet, I might opt for a date night of a ribeye and baked potato. That's like my cheat meal. And if Dom, my diet guy's listening to this, he'll tell you, like, for as busy as I am, like I'm so regimented, but I feel so much better.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't have the stress of worrying about it.
It's why Steve Jobs wore black every day.
So simple.
It's why Patrick Bet-David's in a suit every day. Like it's time. Time's everything.
He's probably got 100 suits and he just goes picks one.
Mm-hmm. Or he probably has somebody that picks them out for him and they're just laying there and they put them on. I mean, it's the truth. Time is precious. You can't buy more of it. Mm-hmm. Health is wealth. Being in close proximity to everything that you do and staying on a routine, it's going to give you so much time and energy and fuel just back in your life to create whatever life it is that you want to live. If you're not living that way, I promise you, you're living in distractions all day long.
Is there anything, Amber, that you want to say in closing?
No, I think I got my point across.
I think for anybody listening in closing, that it is so important just to really time block, to really understand the power of time. We cannot buy more of it. We cannot get our time back. We've even tried to make a conscientious effort for ourselves with our parents, with our children, to be like with one another. I think so many people get off task of valuing the time. I'm guilty. You're guilty. We've all done it. We're looking at each other, but we're not looking at each other. We're looking through each other. So if you can really time block your time and get a lot of your time back don't drive to the other city to go over here. Even if this one in town is a little more expensive, go there because it's costing you more to go over here. Just trust me. Have we always done business local?
Oh, always.
So if we need home stuff.
Because your time's worth money.
Right. So as far as like local stuff in our house, when I say local, I try to do business locally because it's time. How can the guy 4 hours from me drive in and do it, even if he's cheaper? It doesn't make sense. And so that's what I'm trying to make people realize. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please like and subscribe to the page, and we will see you on the next one.